How you doing? So I just wanted to do a quick update. I was talking to a few investors and just kind of showing some tricks on how to quickly establish or estimate value. There's an old metric called the gross rent multiplier. You'll have heard the 1% rule. So if you took a $200,000 house, you'd need $2,000 a month rent in order to make that cash flow. Or if you had $2,000 a month in rent, then that would, the value would be about 200,000. And as the property values shot up and interest rates changed, you couldn't make that work anymore. So then, kind of the rule of thumb I was using for a while was like 80% of that. So, well, now you just put me on the spot here to do the math in my head. So if you took the same 200,000 and you multiplied instead of by 1%, the 1% rule. So instead of going by 0.01, you'd go by 0.008. So that would be about 1,600 a month is what that could support. So then you got to back that into what the interest rates have done lately. So just kind of wanted to jump online and show you some things here. So if you want to share screen here, we're going to share a window. Okay. So there's a formula called the gross rent multiplier. And what the gross rent multiplier is it'll take the market value divided by the annual gross income, and that will be the gross rent multiplier. So what I did is I'm going to jump on here and all right, so we're just searching around the market, right? This is my local market, and there is one down here in Bloomington. Now I can't find it. Why is that? France, Xerxes, Normandale. There we go. So we are sitting at just your classic, your classic Rambler here, 1950s Rambler. We'll go with a $330,000 list price. And this one needs some work, but just for this example, let's pretend it's doesn't need any work. So they're saying it's a 4-bedroom, 3-bath, about 1,800 square feet, 1,750. And so a pretty decent house. Then we'll just double check that with rentometer or rentometer, however you want to say it. And we will show that this is sitting at, we'll just call it 2,600. So somewhere between 2,500 and 2,700. So for this purpose, we're going to use 2,600 a month. And so we do 2,600 a month, which is 31,200 a year. Gross rent multiplier is 10.57. Okay. So what does that mean? Take 10.57 times 12. And you're at about 126, 127 would be the multiplier that you would use. So how you use this trick is you're floating around online and you would go to this one and say, okay, it's 329.9. So you go 330,000 times 127. That's what we decided, right? And that would be, I'm sorry, divided by 330,000 divided by 127. Your rent would be 2,598.4, so 2,600 a month is what your rent would have to be. Now, let's say you knew your market really well, you have your buy box going, and you start saying, okay, I know these 1950s Ramblers, these 1960 Ramblers, they're going to make 2,600 a month in rent. That's what they rent for. So then you start going, okay, 2,600 times 127. I can pay up to 330, 200 for this. So then you can kind of spot deals pretty quick. I wouldn't pull the trigger on this method though. I wouldn't buy the house just based on the gross rent multiplier, but it'll help you narrow down the huge onslaught of information you have here. So we'll go back to just searching finding that needle in the haystack here. Okay, so here's the Twin Cities area. You know, there's not a lot of inventory right now, but out of all these listings, you're going to try to have to find one that's going to cash flow. So to quickly narrow that down, you can use that gross rent multiplier, multiply it out to 12 months so you can kind of look at it from a monthly standpoint rather than the overall annual standpoint. So 127 is kind of what I'm getting in this market. It used to be 120. I ran some of these out in the different suburb. Taxes are a little different. So I was coming in, I think I was closer to 135 to 140 range on some of them. So play around with it and see what works in your market. And that'll kind of help you identify if something's in the ballpark or not. I hope that helps you. That's all I got for this evening. So signing off, and we'll talk to you later. Thanks.